unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is
Look,
so
I mean,
bizarre. It's so
remember,
evil.
Ali, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many
Right.
pedophiles allowed to be given top level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks? If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number one, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number two, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind those computer screens within the walls of Langley, within the Pentagon, and throughout the broader intelligence community?
Burning dirty diaper or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams. And recently, they even started adding moaning and severe. I really mean extreme. I experienced an entire night with forced spontaneous orgasms repeatedly all through the night, one right after another, with maybe around 1 hour of sleep or so, as I lay immobilized in my bed in complete fear. This experience, along with the brain being microwaved and along with some internet research, is what made me put the puzzle pieces together to realize that I was experiencing remote external manipulation via electronic weapons, because these symptoms of sexual assault were not physiologically normal or possible without external manipulation. It is not physiologically normal to just have repeated spontaneous orgasms all through the night like that, literally one right after another. And then it all made sense when I learned about microwave weapons. In 2015, I began to experience what some call V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted.
People. Kidding. I don't even know if I don't know what the fuck they are. So dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. This disgusting, disgusting, disgusting things.
Hey guys. Yeah, she's gonna get shot in the face. Sound like an angry ass old person. Then a couple of days later, a female said the same thing. Gonna get shot in the face. Stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the voice of skull, it's a bunch of females. And I'm like, bro.
And the human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds.
All right. So actually, this is my second take making this video. I actually need to say the name of where I worked, um, because I was saying that these people, based on where I used to work, they can't say the name of Roy Moore. Or this is a pedophile that picked up kids, right? And you hear these people here trying to call me everything but that name because they know better, right? And they like to call it it's their world. It's your world, but you can say Roy Moore, a pedophile that picked up kids. So it's obvious that you're just the bottom feeders in this program that does horrible things to people. And I do that on purpose. Of course, I know who they are in the sense that I know what they do. They're not here investigating. They're here trying to make you subscribe to these things. I keep saying his name just to bring it back to reality, that just to kind of put them to the bottom feeders that they are. Like put them back in that level of being of being bottom feeders, meaning that, oh, well, they use these childlike individuals already, which is a sign that they're bottom feeders, right? Obviously, you look at them, it's like, oh, these people are top investigators, right? Obviously, I know these people are here because they're contracted by the government, and they do these things where they manipulate people in these disgusting ways. Earlier, it's funny how they try to kind of change from different agencies. I know that this program consists of multiple agencies, broad agencies, from the technology of DARPA, the funds of DoD. Obviously, DoD is the entity really above all spending. With the strategies of the CIA, and obviously some of the FBI. You understand there's different agencies, and also like maybe DIA and different intelligence community agencies, and they contract these civilians here, these bottom feeders, to implement this research onto civilians. They are bottom feeders, they're trash, but the reality is these entities are filled with pedophiles. Right, and they'll try to run away from that. Like, oh, we FBI, we have they will try to do everything else, but the reality, of course, there's a strong CIA influence in this. It's obvious. They are the initiator of this, but they try to run away because this article calling out there's so much pedophilia in these agencies, and this article even pointing out even DARPA. Like, I don't know how they're gonna escape. It's like, oh, we're not using DARPA weaponry. This is it's our money. We have our own science. So it's obvious these people are just filled with pedophiles running this show, and they do this pedophilia type of torture and try to make you subscribe. Now, unfortunately for them, right, which is not fair for them, is as they try to gaslight somebody to make them accept this nastiness. They're like, I'm reading these things, like, oh, really? Yeah, are pedo? You okay? It's not only you can't even say Roy Moore now. This article shows us why there's so many pedophiles in this intelligence community. You understand? So you actually have your pedos that run the show here. You guys do have a lot of pedos working above you guys, and this is a pattern of issues. As I'm saying, they try to mess with me, But there's a pattern of this pedophilia in these entities. And earlier they tried to mess. So you see this picture of these people next door. Nothing special. I blurred them, because they're not different than anybody else. There's other people right now in the hallways trying to make noise campaign, laughing. Ha ha ha! You're gonna be tortured, suffer, pedo. It's like, you're sad, low life. I'd rather suffer than do what you do. I'd rather suffer than work for pedophiles and do the pedophilia type of torture. You can't even play this fantasy anymore. You can't even say Roy Moore. Like, how embarrassing is it? You have children that can suffer. Trash. You're doomed already. You don't even know it. There's dignity that these people will never have. There's dignity they will never have. They call you are nothing. You can't even say Roy Moore. How am I nothing? You understand? I might be tortured and tormented. I know why. It's because you can't say Roy Moore. I know who put me in this program, and I know why I'm in this program. You trash. I just do what you do. You do that to women and children. You suffocate kids, you suffocate women, you torture children. Like, you're the nastiest things. And they use the cowards of the cowards. Their bravery is in the cowardness, actually. And they try to live the deluded reality. Yes, they're going to sit there, watch me suffer, scream. And all I'm asking to God, God, give me strength to deal with this sufferance, this theater. Because they're going to try to block out the reality that while we're torturing him, we find out there were a bunch of pedos. We do the pedophilia type of torture. As you heard earlier, all of these things. The pedophilia type of torture, almost all target individuals do the pedophilia, they do this nasty, tormenting pedophilia things. They force people to have this disgusting perception, which they were trying to make me think of the perception of one kid over there saying there, like a little fuck. Sorry, I was going to say some, they make me try to use language as a little bit. This kid that just like a little, maybe 13-year-old kid or something sitting over there, and they created this perception and like, oh, you abuse. I was like, oh my gosh, coming from people who are suffocating kids. They know I see them for what they are, and they use their children as if I haven't heard testimony from people saying even children are involved. They use teenagers to do this. Everything they've done to me, it has been said by others. These people are bottom feeders. They can't even try to live a fantasy. Tell me something different about you, so you can hear this woman going through the same thing. Everything they do, these nasty things. They do the nasty manipulation, disgusting thoughts that they put implanting people in their head, in their mind, and they use this trash next door that was supposed to get you to subscribe to. Oh, you're the pedo. It's like trash. I know this technology does that. You know that too. This is the tactic. That's why you're speaking loud. If I hold on, let me see if you can hear this. You hear that? I hope I capture a little bit. So they make me imagine some disgusting pedophilia things with some children, and then you hear these people screaming, "Ah, he does, he does." Yes, he does. You know how he does? Because he heard about the other testimonies. He knows that you guys use this tactic, and they're like, "Yeah, la merda." Oh, like, what are you then? La Goldo? La Ora? Well, I don't know how you say gold. You're trash that works for pedophiles. And they were trying to do this nose campaign to get you to feel guilty for the thoughts they force you to have. You know, they were just, and then they went back into like having a thought toward this person who's, like somebody maybe in the mid to late 20s, but they were trying to have this battle in my mind. I was like, whatever. They try to counter reality and they try to push you to insanity and retardation. They're delusional trash that have sold their soul to pedophiles and think that things are going to come back to them. It's not going to come back to them. Of course, I know that. I keep saying that over and over, not to think that things are going to change, but I just want them to see themselves what they are. When they see me, they got to understand I'm seeing you properly. I'll manipulate my brain, do your pedophile things that you renounce, and then scream around and pretend, pedo. You work for pedos and you do the pedophile type of torture. You know that even better than me. And you're going to act accordingly. You're going to be, it's you. I merda. I was like, if I'm mierda, where are you? Huh? You can't even speak about this pedophile. No, there's honor in my death. I understand. It's going to be horrible torture, but I know I'm dealing with pedophiles. Not just because they do things to kids in their personal ways, but they torture them. They do the pedophile type of torment, and they do nasty things into people's mind, forcing them to think in these disgusting ways. They train you to think in this most disgusting, just to make you lose your mind. And as I'm saying that, they're doing something to my pelvic. Now, if you heard this testimony I showed earlier, you heard it many times. I'm going to bring them over and over and over. Look at the picture of these people. These people are supposed to make you subscribe to this. These people. Does it not look like it's obvious they work for the government, that they just contracted to do these things? And I'm talking about these intelligence agencies. They were trying to say, "Oh, we're FBI." Was it? It's like, because this is kind of the COINTEL pro kind of methods, right? Well, so when this woman says that, there's a bunch of women involved in that, even stalking them, even following them, they're getting the gang stalking. So this, I understand that this thing consists of multiple aspects of different intelligence community. Of course, the CIA is for sure involved. They're the originator of mind control experimentation. Of course, DARPA is involved. They're the one creating this technology, developing this technology. Of course, the Department of Defense is involved. They're the one funding this. So it's okay. So I understand. And the FBI is obviously involved because it's part of this intelligence community. But this community is filled with pedophiles, and there's no way they can escape that part. And they try to go into different lines. Now we're FBI, now we're FTC. They try to go away because in this article they call out specific, agencies, NRO, DARPA. Actually, DARPA is not called out, but when you read the full document, you see that there's people in the program manager at DARPA that was called with child porn there. DOD. Say like it's just so much going on there. There's patterns of issue. And CIA, oh my gosh, whew, you see that's another level. And CIA is strongly influencing this program. My program. Literally, somebody said that in my face, saying, "Oh, I know the CIA." I'm like, "What? I didn't know anything about it." But they obviously know that they're strongly involved in this. So they try to leave this fantasy, which I'm not letting them leave that. Now, I understand this is not going to end. I understand reality is things that are going to end badly, but I'm not trying to have a good ending in the sense that I don't want to. I don't care about living long. No, this is dignified. This is fate that is happening this way while I'm seeing what these people are. They're low life. I'm here as a vessel for them to see themselves where they are. Trash, bottom feeder, weak human beings that will get theirs. Weak as it gets. I understand you find empowerment in this, but they are weak people. To all my target individual, you are special in the sense that you're strong and you're honorable and dignified. Now, maybe physically you're not as strong as you were. You're breaking down mentally too, but there's a dignity in this. So stay strong, continue, do whatever you need to do, but do not subscribe to these things. People all around you are going to try to make you accept this nastiness, and they're going to say all the nasty RP. Look at you, trash. You look at what you have to do for a living. You're going to die too. You understand? Death is not just for me, right? Look at how dirty and nasty you have to live. You can't even speak about a pedophile's name. You can't even say Roy Moore. People are making fun of him. You can Roy Moore, you turn all red and run away. You see how humiliating, and you calling me nothing? You see how sad life can be? And then you have to call yourself FBI because a bunch of it's so sad. And do you think that I'm going to subscribe to it after all the testimonies? No, I understand you're going to act accordingly. So to me, I see them for what they are, and I'm going to continue to say things I need to say to put things back in perspective. Now, this is tiring me. They're draining me. And like physically, I can feel the fatigue, and they're obviously making it hard for me to speak. To speak, it takes a lot of my brain power, which they're manipulating. And soon I won't be able to express myself. But when you hear this childlike person, weak as she is, try to tell you, and then you're gonna die. I'm not exaggerating. They sound like so childish. It's like, and then you're gonna die. This is a childlike sounding person, weak as it gets. I'm like, you couldn't even last a second. It will take 2 seconds to break you down. They use this weak, obvious trash, the government contract. It's like, and then you'll die too. But look how you're living, and you're healthy, and you sound weak when you're supposed to be you're trash, and you came and say Roy Moore, and then you're gonna die. It's so pathetic. These people they don't understand the concept of death is something that's going to happen to them too. So I hate these people who have to live this humiliating life, excited about my death because they can't say Roy Moore. That is fate. That's every sign. It's like if there's such a thing as a higher being, right? That tries to tell you, listen, okay, oh yeah, you're pedo, huh? Okay, awkward, huh? Oh, Robert, we'll call him Roy Moore. It seems like things for me are happening in a way that everything is being countered all by itself. I'm not doing anything as they try to do some peripheral things. They are trying to counter reality, and for me, I don't have to counter anything. It's just like reality just counter them. It's just I'm not doing anything. I'm just breaking down. But reality is just too much. They do the perfect type of torture. Somebody says literally, as they do these horrible things, these things to my mind. They do the perfect type of torture. They try to make me subscribe to this, and then you hear some target individual saying they do this perfect type of torture. They say RPA though. BuzzFeed article comes out. Why is there so many pedophiles in these agencies? All kind of agencies, from DARPA, which they can escape from, to DOD, to CIA, and others. Everything. Then they try to play the feminist and whatever. There's a bunch of women being tortured today, and they try to block it out. And try to, oh no, it's our money. We're different. We're like okay, this is. I was no, today we changed. Now we're more like feminists, like protectors of, like all these women talking about how they're getting tortured day in and day out, gang stalked, electronic warfare, directed energy, all of that. So to all my target individual, stay strong. You're gonna hear the bottom feeders try to make you accept this. They are the trash. They are the mierdo that they're calling me. They speak in Spanish for me. So you can't even say Roy Moore and call me mierdo.